All right, we're going to continue the lesson now. The blanks here are A is called the leading coefficient. So you can write that in, leading coefficient. And that's just the front number in all three forms. Actually, the A value is there, and that tells us about the shape of the graph. If A is a positive value, then it will open in an upward direction. And if A is a negative number, it will open downward. Smiley face and a frown. All right, so that A is going to help us know what shape we're looking at. All right, suppose you're given this graph in standard form. If you want to find the maximum, there is a vertex HK that you can use. Now, if it's in vertex form, you have the HK and you can find them. But what we're going to do now is take standard form and figure out how to get the vertex out of that. This formula H equals negative B over 2A is very important. It's going to be useful. We're going to skip this step of looking at the Desmos. You're welcome to type in that code and you can kind of play around with three different equations in standard form, vertex form, and factored form. Once you find the vertex, how do you, or the H number, how are you going to find the K? Well, if we have H, that's our X coordinate, so we can just plug that H value in for X. So that's what goes here. Plug H in for X to find K. Sounds like a lot of letters, but once we do it with some numbers, you'll probably understand. So here's an example. We have a quadratic function in standard form. The student already did the negative b over 2a part. Remember, this is your a, b, c. So they took negative b, which is positive 10, over 2 times 1, which equals 5. So that's my h is 5. So how do we find this k value? We take the 5 and we plug it back in. So we're basically finding g of 5. So we would do 5 squared minus 10 times 5 plus 1. That's 25 minus 50. That's negative 25 plus 1 is negative 24. So that would be my k value. And that's how you can find the vertex from standard form. We also can just kind of summarize all of this. So if we have standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c, we'll just say y equals, then we can find the h value is negative b over 2a. Make sure you multiply those 2a together. And then to find k, plug the h value back in for x to figure out what the y value, which would be your k for the vertex. Just a note, there is another way to do this. In Algebra 2, we do it using completing the square. And if you're using the ALEX program, they may ask you some steps about completing the square. So if that's something else you want to look into, you're welcome to look at Khan Academy or pull it up on ALEX and actually look up completing the square. And interestingly enough, that's what we're doing in Algebra 2 today in my other classes. All right, these videos are limited to 5 minutes, so that's why there are so many of them, and I apologize for that. So I think I'm going to let you pause the video and find a solution to this number 4 here. Okay, we're going to finish this lesson up. I went ahead and found the vertex of my point to be at 2, negative 8. And so now we can write the vertex form of the equation. It will still be f of x. My a value is 3. And then right in here, we do x minus my h value, which was a 2. You have to have a squared to keep it that quadratic equation. And then the k value goes here. So remember, it's a x minus h squared plus k. So it's x minus, so that becomes a minus 2. And then plus k, but my k is a negative number, so that's minus 8. So that's the answer to part B. And then this last one over here, number 5, I went ahead and also found the vertex for that. So let's just write that final answer for h of x in vertex form. Got a 2 for my a value. It's x minus, but this time I have a negative here, so that will become a plus 4 squared minus 27. So standard form is up here, vertex form is here in the red. And that finishes off lesson 5.1. Look on Google Classroom for your